Hi, and welcome everybody to the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Channel. I'm your host, Ross Benjamin of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Usually I am joined by two of my cohorts on Wednesday, but it's just going to be one because Jesse is in Vietnam as we speak with his family. So he can't make it today, but he will be back Friday for the live show. But lo and behold, we still got Mr. Higgs. And Sean, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, it's like a bad penny. I'm always going to be around. I just sit around and do videos 7 days a week. I'm easy. I'm easy.
Better than being.
I wonder if Jesse's going to try to reach out to the Ninja. If Ninja comes in looking for Ninja for having some.
Yeah,
whatever name, I don't know what they over there.
Ninja is. He likes to chime in on the live show quite a bit, and
yes,
a little bit hilarious with his comments. And is he Vietnamese? He's Vietnamese, I believe.
Yeah.
So, in any event, yeah, and don't forget our live shows now, folks. Make a note of this. We're going to go at 1 o'clock Eastern time as opposed to 3 Eastern time that we have been doing, making a little bit of a change there because football season is coming to a conclusion, as everybody knows out there, sadly. And also, we're going to be doing some basketball going forward. And not this week, but going forward, we'll be doing some NBA on Friday. So that'll be our NBA show for the week. And then also you can chime in with your questions and comments. And don't forget, me and Sean, along with 8 other great handicappers, are at our sponsor site, gamblersworld.net. And it's there where when you buy our premium paid selections, which are our best stuff, folks, you get the guarantee that if you don't win, you don't make a profit on any single game or multi-game daily packages or any subscription plans of 30 days or fewer, we will credit back your account the exact amount of your purchase price. Not refund, but credit back your account. And you can use that money as a credit anytime you wish on any handicapper you wish, on any type of subscription plan or single game, multi-game daily package you wish. So there you have it. It's gamblersworld.net. All right, Sean, we're talking college basketball today. Got a couple good ones. You're going to be looking at Illinois and Northwestern. I'm going to be looking at Alabama and Auburn. Big SEC rival there, and I'm sure you'll have some opinions on that game as well. But let's start with you. Illinois at Northwestern. Right now, Illinois is a 3-point favorite. The total in this contest is either 146 or 147, depending on where you look. Terrence Shannon is now back in the mix for Illinois, which makes a major difference for them. He came off the bench in the previous game, and I think he scored 16 points. But that's a huge boost for Illinois. But Northwestern has been not only competitive, but been solid in right now, if the season that we're in today, you'd have a hard time leaving them out of the NCAA tournament, Sean.
Yeah. Well, the Shannon is back, but he's still kind of getting into playing shape. This game to me, I'm taking Northwestern in the points here. It was a 4. There's 3s. There's 2.5s. Creeping down. Last time they played, beginning, I think it was January 2nd, it was like an Illinois romp. I think we had Northwestern that game, everybody here. I think we're doing it. We're like, hey, let's take Northwestern, Illinois. Some off-the-court issues going on. Yeah, they didn't miss a beat. They rolled. But I look at this number, and you look at, and I know you're a big strength of schedule guy, and that's big to me. I also just look at the names of the teams, because sometimes a team's a big name, but it's not really that good. And you compare this face value of it, and you look at Northwestern like, wow, okay, they got some wins, but hardly impressive. They lose on the road, right? And this is like an ongoing thing we talk about. Road, winning and covering on the road is very difficult. And on a shorter number, it seems like it's even more difficult. Shannon's back. Super. The team excelled. It didn't really miss a beat, but I see this line, a team that's home, extra short for a top 10 team. I got to take Northwestern. It's one of those spots. Like, this was like, yesterday I had South Carolina, same kind of game, right? You look at it like, why is this line kind of short like this? Kentucky's a big name school, a big team, yet here's the short line on the road against a conference opponent. You got to look at these things. And it's not like we're not digging wells here finding water. You don't really have to go that far under the surface to say, hey, right? You see, Russell, you say all the time, it's not like it's one game. Okay, win or lose. It's
Yeah.
just one spot for this. It's not. Well,
Yes.
they could win the Big Ten. Illinois is really good. Yeah, of course they're very good. They're probably a Sweet 16, a Final 8 team. I'm not going to argue with that. But in this spot, here's the number. Here's the setup. I'm going to take my Northwestern. Let's go Wildcats.
Yeah, Northwestern plus the 3 over Illinois. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. You know, you can't look at it who's the better team on paper. You can't look at who's more capable of making a deep run, or as you alluded to, Sean, who's most likely to have a better chance to win the Big Ten title, Illinois or Northwestern. I mean, we know the obvious answers to that. Whether that comes to fruition is another story. But this is a one-game situation.
Yes.
It's a game at Northwestern in the early part of the Big Ten schedule, just over the midway point of the season, and they're catching 3 at home. Now, Northwestern, I believe, is 9-1 at home, and unbelievably, their only home loss came to Chicago State. So Chicago State right now ranked number 294 in the country. Go figure. But they did have some pretty good home wins so far, Sean. I mean, they beat Dayton, and don't look now. Dayton's an excellent team out of the Atlantic 10, top 25 caliber team. They beat them 71-66. They also knock off Purdue at home in overtime, 92-88. They beat Michigan State at home by 14. Michigan State's a top 25 caliber team.
Yeah.
So again, they got some quality wins, Sean.
Yeah, and it's I don't know who I was talking to on this show. I don't know what I do a lot of videos, Ross, and we talk about like the short line with a named rank kind of school, and the comment was like, well, the books are adjusting to that now. And I got to say, for 20 years, I don't think they've ever adjusted, because this is something you kind of I look at all the time, especially I said this last week on a Saturday. First ones I look at when there's 150 games are top 25 matchups like this. And I don't know that they adjust. They can adjust all they want. The fact is,
I think the discussion, Sean, the discussion you had with me is you look for situations where an unranked team is favored against the top 25 team, or a short line like this, correct? Yeah. And my response was, I always used to look at that as well, and there's a lot of credence to that, because me, I trust the bookmakers a hell of a lot more than I trust the pollsters.
Yes.
But it didn't hold up last year as much as it did in recent years, I believe I said.
Yes. Yeah. And I'll agree to that on some of the games. So it's also one where it's not just one game. This is something you might have 9 games, you might have 2, you might have 1, and it's not on a Thursday, it's not on a Saturday, it's not on a Monday. It's all the time. It's all the time. Yeah. And you have other games that kind of fit into this kind of realm that are close to not top 25, but just to get. Again, Ross, this is a little. I mean, we could talk since it's only me and you today, so it'd be a short show if it was. It's whenever I see those kind of games, I just have to, the pick it and choose. I have to just take them. It's the long plane. It's not just the one game. Okay, if it loses today, I'm 2-4 today. That's okay, because I know next day I could be 7-3 in this situation, or 6-4.
Yeah. I mean, and you talk about strength of schedule. I mean, Northwestern, a horrible strength of schedule in their non-conference portion of their schedule at number 333. But Illinois, not much better. I mean, they're at number 244 in the non-conference portion of their schedule, and the overall strength of schedule is pretty even. So,
because you get to Illinois plays Marquette, at Tennessee, so they're going to get a little more boost onto those as opposed to a, Rhode Island on a neutral or something that the other guy has.
Yeah, they actually played Marquette at home and lost at home to Marquette. And like you said, at Tennessee, they only lose by 7. At
there's
Purdue,
2 good teams.
They lose
I don't
by
mind
5.
losing to a good team. That's fine. You play a good team. You win one, you lose one. You're still. I mean, that's their losses. I mean, come on, they're having a good season.
Yeah.
14-4. Can't be too bad.
No,
2 top 10
not at
losses.
all.
And then Purdue, they lost to Purdue. How bad's losing to Purdue?
Yeah, Illinois is a good team. There's no two ways about it. And getting
Here we go. We're
Shannon back.
talking about them 2.5. We're talking about them as a 2.5 point fave with their best guy back. This seems odd.
Yeah, it does. And again, folks, like I've said on numerous occasions over the last 3 years, if you've been viewing these podcasts religiously, even before I started bringing guests on, if you want to be a successful sports bettor, start thinking like an odds maker. And that's basically what Sean is telling you in not so many words. The rankings are made by human beings. The odds makers are professionals at making their line. And the minute you think you're smarter than an odds maker is you're going to be behind the 8 ball. Now, that does not mean that you need to fear an odds maker. You just need to respect them. Respect their ability to set a line and then look for something fishy, and that's what Sean's alluding to. Not to, say we're smarter than odds makers and
I'm not
we're going to be leaving our job tomorrow and be the odds maker for Harrah's in Las Vegas. It's not anything to do with that. So, all right, let me get to my game and then we'll get your thoughts on this one because it's a good one, Sean. Auburn, Alabama, the game at Alabama. And 7:30 p.m. Eastern time start on ESPN. By the way, Sean's game, Illinois Northwestern, is a 9 o'clock start. And that game will be, if you want to view that game, it's on the Big Ten Network. And so there you have it. One nationally televised game, and another one depends on what your cable package is. All right, so right now, as we speak, Alabama is a 4-point favorite. The total is 161.5, and we'll talk about the total later because this opened, I believe, at 166, and it's down to 161.5. So we'll talk about that. But let's get to my pick. And I'm going to go a different direction here. I am going to look at the first half line here. And, when it comes down to a very tough game like this in terms of should be very competitive and close throughout. I just can't see either team blowing each other out in this situation. And I look at the first half line and I found some value. I mean, look, this is an Alabama team in their last 5 games. They led at the half in 4 of their last 5 at home, or 4 of their last 5 games overall at the half. But those leads were only by 4 or less. And in their last game against Tennessee, they were down 13 at the half. Of course, that game was at Tennessee. So that's a tough place to play. But in any event, this is an Alabama team that's also trailed or is tied at the half in 4 of their last 14 games. So it's not like they're coming out of the gate and blowing teams away. Let's switch gears and go to Auburn. They've led at the half in 17 of 18 games this year. Not only have they led at the half in 17 of 18 games, they've covered the first half line in 15 of those 18 games. As a matter of fact, in their last 11 games, Auburn has gone 11-0 straight up and against the spread against the first half line. And they led those 11 games by a combined 14.5 points per game. All right, there was some non-conference opponents in there. Let's break it down to their 5 games they played in the SEC so far. They're 5-0 straight up in ATS against the first half line against SEC opponents. And they led by an average of 13.6 points per game. So Auburn is +2 in the first half, and that's the direction I'm going to go here. I'm seeing a trend here where Auburn is a very strong first half team. They're a strong team overall at 16-2, but especially they come out of the gate and they break the will of opponents on a lot of occasions, especially over the last 11 games. And Alabama, on the other hand, they're not coming out of the gate real strong. And I think that's something to, even at Alabama, I still think Auburn will throw a haymaker early on and have the lead at the half here. And then who knows what will happen in the second half. But, Sean, I'm going to go with Auburn +2 first half against Alabama.
I like it. And you mentioned Alabama coming off those to Tennessee, who also beat Illinois there. No shame losing down at Tennessee.
No.
I want to talk about that over though. I kind of like the over 166 on opener. I'm like,
Yeah.
cats. I thought that was bad. And then I saw somebody had a 170 up there. I believe there was a 170 out there. I think in some game Tulane or something. I was like, well, I thought 166 was high. I almost want to go over to 161 now. I mean, a 5-point move, is that a little too much here? I think
I think so.
awful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think awful loss. Alabama's going to come out and play better. They're home. You got a good team coming to play. I mean, why wouldn't this game be like? I think this game's going to be like, you're taking the points in the first half, sure, because I think this game's going to be like close to 100 points in the first half. I won't be shocked like a 50-48, 51-50 kind of.
Yeah, but
I think it's going to be
odd, Sean. What's odd, and again, we're going to these odd situations, right? Where I would be careful with that is the first half total is 77, and the game total is
it's 160.
161 and a half. So it's a low first half total. So again, I think they're begging you to go over the total in the first half.
Right? Why wouldn't both teams get to 40 here at 77?
Yeah. I would be more inclined to take a look at the total in the game. I just think this is one of those games where there'll be a feeling out process in the first half. But again, if you're going over 77 in the first half, Sean, I don't have a strong case to make against that, obviously.
I just think for the game, it just seems like a 5 is a big move on a total.
It's a big move. It's a big move. And, consider this. Alabama, number 2 in terms of number 25 in tempo, number 3 in offensive time of possession. Auburn is right up there. They're in the top 35 of tempo and offensive possession. So both teams like to play fast. And I don't think that Auburn is not the type of team. Auburn is, who was I talking about the other day? Purdue. Auburn's similar in the respect that if you want to play fast, they're not going to shy away. If you want to drag this out in the 60s and low 70s, they could play that style too and still win. So it's not like Auburn's going to shy away from an up-tempo type of game. You know what I mean? The numbers speak to the over here. Auburn, number 8 in offensive efficiency. They're number 77 in tempo, number 44 in time of possession. Alabama right up there, number 2 in offensive efficiency. So these are teams that could score and like to play at a pretty good tempo. And both teams are a thing that a lot of people forget, Sean, is when you're looking at a total, look at how often teams get to the free throw line and then their free throw percentage, and then compare that to how many free throw attempts the opposition gives up. In other words, the team they're playing. And I think Auburn's going to get to the free throw line an awful lot tonight because they do get to the free throw line an awful lot. And they're number 13, I think, in the country in free throw percentage. And Alabama's like in the 250s in terms of free throws allowed because they play that aggressive, in-your-face type of defense and they're physical. And as a result, to speed the tempo up of games, they do give up a lot of fouls. In Alabama, by the way, they're knocking down 77% from the free throw line. So 2 good free throw shooting teams as well. Anything else you want to add to that, Sean?
Well, who doesn't love free throws? Points when there's no time running. So I'll take it for the over here. I want to say, you see a move like this, and it's kind of like talking on both sides here because you're like, wow, are they that wrong on a total? Like a lot of times, you bet like you're thinking, all right, I like this number because I think it's going to go somewhere else, right? A 5 and totals are tricky. I think college basketball totals are real tricky. People think NFL stuff to bet. I disagree. I think college basketball totals, you don't see stuff like this in the NFL where you get 5.5 point line moves, unless the quarterback's out, right? Quarterback's out or there's a blizzard or a monsoon or something and there's wind.
In the NBA as well.
Things,
NBA usually, if it happens in the NBA, we can almost look and locate. There's got to be somebody's out, right? So,
but even in this case, the line didn't even move. Like those kind of go together, total wise. Like the spread will move a little bit here. The spread's still kind of sitting around the same number, 3, 3.5. I don't know. I like to say when the line is gone, you move on. If you like the under and you had it last night, you're looking like a genius. I can't come in and tell you to take the under at this point. At this point, I think, you know what? I'll agree with the lines makers, right, Russ? Like, they thought it
Yeah.
was this.
Yep.
Someone, were they off? Did everybody just wake up totally off and all the books are off? Like,
You know,
because, like the
what
copy and
what
paste
I've
or
no what I've noticed in recent years, Sean, because I do play, I do like my college basketball totals. By the way, I had a winning total last night, uh, and it escapes me what game it was, but that's how much I turned the page the next day and wiped the slate clean. What happened the day before, but 51-28 with my college basketball totals now on a run. But I'm noticing in recent years when you get totals 160 and above, the public, as much as they like to play overs, there seems to be a betting trend to automatically go under when numbers are that high. In college basketball, I'm referring to. So, if that means anything, but again, I would venture to say that there's some so-called sharp money or big money that has gone on the under to bring it to this. Now it's not out of the realm of possibility. How many times have we seen a big move like this on a total in college basketball and it falls right in the middle? You know,
yep,
we go
exactly. And that's what I'm
166 to
thinking.
one. Yeah. So
That
and
is
it
what
ends
I'm
up
thinking.
163, 164. So
And
yeah,
you know what the thing is, though, Russ. This again, here's the difference between the everyday betters and the pro kind of guys, where we have the money to be like, you know what, I'm going to see if I could come in on the middle here. Like, it's okay if we split out. If it loses, if they both, whatever, it's a split. It is what it is. We move on. The average person doesn't want that. They can't live with that. They don't have the long term capacity to handle that kind of nonsense where you're trying to middle games on 5 points.
yeah,
Where
yeah,
if someone had the over, like if you had the under already, and you'd wake up this morning and be like, you know what? I got a free roll here at something nice. This is a nice chunk to play, right? It'd be an automatic play. You're doubling down on 10, or 11. You're in. You're like, why wouldn't I do this? This is like a free shot here with a 5 point line move. You know.
yeah. No, it's absolutely true.
And I didn't
Yeah,
think I
I
played
had.
this many totals, Ross. I just looked. I'm 21 and 15, 58%. I didn't think I played that many
What's the
totals in
matter
college
with that?
basketball.
That's solid.
Oh,
And
it's good. It's not a bad number. I just didn't think I even had that many. I was thinking maybe I had 15.
yeah,
I didn't think I had that many games.
I had the Xavier and Creighton game over 148 last night, folks. So you don't think I have Alzheimer's yet?
No,
And
I mean, if I forget who I had the day before because
yeah, I
you're
do
so
too
far
because I'm
removed.
already on to the next day.
Yeah,
But they scored 163 in that game. So in any event, 51 and
like I'm starting
28
on
run.
Saturday already. It's like it's time for Saturday
Yeah,
basketball when
exactly.
there's 140 games.
It's overwhelming. Anyway,
Yeah.
so there you have it, 51 and 28 run with my college basketball total. Sean, tell them a little bit about what you may have coming up. You already indicated some of that. We got the conference championship games coming up in the NFL. Me, you, and Jesse will be discussing. We discussed that with Paul Bovey yesterday. We gave out some picks in both games. Paul had a bunch of props that he gave out in the San Fran games. So you want to tune into that right at the archive at Winners Circle Sports Betting Channel on YouTube. Sean, what may you have coming up this week, and any winning runs of note that you like to share with the audience as well?
2 and 3 night in college basketball last night. So that's obviously not not a winning night, but college basketball on a whole has been good since the calendar has changed over. We are 79 and 55. That's 59%. So I'm happy about that. I got a 3-pack up tonight. Uh, Again, NFL, I have posted. I just haven't put the packages up. I kind of wait on the packages here. I just because I put a lot of things out. I don't want it to be like it's the Sean Higgs circle with a bunch of things up. But as I said, I do put a lot of games out, and I'll put usually a 3-pack up or a 5-pack. Just I could have more games. I just don't make packs for 50 games. Not that I have 50 games, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get the gist here. And that's what I say. Get a long term. I, I I I tend to think I win a little more than I lose. It's
yeah.
if you like to bet,
Well, the
and you
numbers
don't
will
mind,
back that.
yeah,
The numbers at the site will back that. The numbers at other sites will back that. So go ahead,
You see
Sean.
my games comparisons to Ross and Jesse and other guys outside. I got a lot more. The percentage isn't as high. It's a win percentage. It's a grind. We're
Yeah.
different here, but
Yeah.
bottom line is we're making some money. So
Yep. Sean, like you have to exercise strict money management when you get on board with Sean, and he'll be the first one to tell you that.
yeah,
It's a grind. So even if you're playing less per game than you normally will, you're still at the end of the day, the goal is to make you a long-term profit. And Sean has been throughout his career has been very good at producing that for you. So again, that's why we always encourage folks the single game and multi game daily packages are fine, especially if you just like to dabble in once in a while. But if you like to play on a daily basis, you like to play a few times a week, I would highly suggest you invest in a 3 day, 7 day, or 30 day package. Very affordable plans. 3 day $99, 30 day $175, and a 30 day $399. And again, folks, it's not a sign of weakness that we give out a guarantee about if you don't win or you don't make a profit, you get a credit. We'll be the first ones to tell you we don't win all the time. We win a heck of a lot more than we lose, but timing is everything. You may catch one of us on a bad run. Okay. So, for example, I won 5 months in a row. I think I mentioned this yesterday, and I'm getting crushed right now as we speak in January. I did have that winner yesterday in the college basketball on the total, but I also went 0-2 in the NBA. So 1-2. I beat on my chest when I win. Sean beats on his chest when he wins. Not so much. My chest has black and blue marks. Sean just has to itch his chest when he brags. And Jesse does the same. He beats on his chest when he wins, similar to me. But we're also very transparent on this channel. And I don't know any other way to be. And I think I could speak for Sean and Jesse and Doug Upstone when I say this, and Paul Bovey, that, we're 100% transparent. We don't know any other way to operate. And if there was another way to operate for a certain individual, that's their prerogative, but they certainly won't be on this channel. So in any event, you could find us both at gamblersworld.net. Don't forget, folks, there is a black subscribe button right underneath the video box. If you haven't done so already, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click on that subscribe button. It'll get you subscribed to the channel. It's absolutely free. There's no strings attached, no hidden agenda. And for those of you who have subscribed, and for our new subscribers, take a second to go into your YouTube settings and hit the alert notification bell for the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel, and you'll be notified upon any of our 6 podcasts going up on our great channel here. Sean, there's a like button. I'm going to give you your opportunity.
It's not,
Yeah.
I was going to do a little smash for Jesse. I can't yell like Jesse even.
No, that's okay. So
and no one's even in my house sleeping. I'm just not yelling like that.
In any event, yeah, Jesse says smash, and everybody in Thailand hears him, and he wakes up the whole household. But we'll just say, just hit that like button, folks. It's just a small token of your appreciation for the time, work, and effort we put into giving you a quality podcast on this channel. Don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow with Doug Upstone. We'll be talking college basketball at that time, and a couple more free winners. And then Sean and Jesse will be back with me on Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, our live show. And don't forget, folks, put it in your calendar. It's a time change from 3 to 1 Eastern. And also that you'll have an opportunity to chime in with your questions, comments, your picks of your own, and you'll get an immediate response, which is always nice when that occurs. So until then, for Sean Higgs and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless, folks.